Hi everyone, this is Disha Dioxide and you are watching CO Secrets, what made them successful and how we can make it. Today I will be having a conversation with Dr. Vishwanath Lingappa, who is the CEO of Prosetta Bioconformatics USA. We will be hearing about his journey and his experiences. What are the real life products where your company's products are being used as of today?
So as of today, we have no products in the market. We have small molecules that have been validated in vitro and in many cases in vivo in the model systems available that suggest they will be transformative treatments for oncology, neuroscience, respiratory, viral disease, and other ailments. The challenge is for us is to find the resources to go from proof of principle preclinically, in vitro and in vivo, which we have, to human clinical trials. That's expensive, it's difficult, and that's the challenge, the struggle we're engaged in right now.
And what do you feel like is the vision? Like after that, what do you think will happen?
So, my vision would be that if we are successful, it really transforms healthcare in fundamental ways. It creates clinical therapeutic possibilities that can't even be dreamed of today. I mean, having a small molecule. So right now, if you get a viral illness, you know it's coming. You have a sore throat, a runny nose, your head feels a little congested. You know that tomorrow you'll probably be sicker, and the next day sicker than that, and then coughing, and so on. You know that's what's going to happen. It happens to all of us 3 times a year at least, and that was before the pandemic, right? So what virus is causing that? Well, 70% will be rhinovirus. No big deal. Just a cold, except if you're elderly or have a premorbid condition, diabetes, hypertension, lung disease. Rhinovirus can kill you.
Oh my God.
Okay, there are patients in the hospital that I and my colleagues have seen who died with respiratory failure, and the only pathogen recovered was rhinovirus. So it is not a benign thing, even though it is only a small number of people that will die. Tell the person that's going to die it's no big deal. It is a big deal.
It is a
right?
big deal.
So, but what's the problem? The problem is and there's very good data that the earlier you treat, the more effective. Well, that's not surprising. That's true for everything, right? Any problem, if you can detect it early, you can prevent it from the consequences. Yeah, exactly. So the problem, though, with respiratory viruses is it influenza? Is it corona? Is it RSV? There are 6 different viral families, rhinovirus, that cause respiratory disease. And they're completely different in their structure, their life cycle. Some of them are enveloped viruses, some of them are not. Some of them are DNA viruses, some of them are RNA viruses. They're so diverse that if you target the virus directly, no one drug will work on all of them. And that's the problem. You know you're going to get a cold, but you don't know what it is. By the time you take a sample, send it to the testing, find out what it is, it's too late. We have a drug that works on all respiratory viruses. So the minute you have a sore throat, you could take it and cut it off in the bud.
Wow.
But that's a concept that is very hard to convey because even experts in the field have never dreamed that that is possible.
Right.
But we have a drug that does that works, that has been efficacious in animals, in human lung tissue, recreating the human respiratory tract.
Oh.
So we will get there, but to get there, we need to raise millions of dollars. That's our current challenge. I give that as one example of, talk about a transformation. Now, I don't know, many people have asthma and chronic lung disease. Well, you know what is the trigger of most asthma exacerbations and chronic lung disease exacerbations? It's a viral infection. So what may give you a sore throat, then a runny nose, coughing, gives an asthma or COPD sufferer an exacerbation. They end up in the hospital, they end up or in the emergency room, often admitted to the hospital with huge, not just costs, suffering.
The seemingly unharmful
Yeah,
virus.
exactly. Rhinovirus can do that. Well, if I can treat the minute I have a sore throat, I prevent the infection of the throat from going to the lungs.
Right.
I will prevent that. So the benefit of these transformative drugs, it changes the way we think about respiratory disease. I'm giving that as an example. This summer, a member of our team won the national U.S. competition, ARPA-H dash, with her evidence that we have one drug for all cancers.
Oh.
And now the challenge is, that's impossible. Wait, it's the data from the National Cancer Institute that has confirmed that. Now, we are slowly moving this forward, but if we're successful on either of those two, it will change the world from a medical point of view. And similarly, I can talk about neurodegeneration, inflammation, antibacterial, HIV. We have very novel ways of thinking about how to use these molecules that work in a very unusual way that we discovered because of our philosophical perspective, recognizing that what you think is true today will not be true in 5 or 10 years, just like we can look back at Aristotle and some of the ideas he had and you say, what was he, an idiot? No, he was the most brilliant person of his time. But the difference between him and us is a few thousand years.
Yes.
And there's a lot been learned then. And here is a phrase that I say as the phrase I contribute to the world. History does not end with us.
Right.
And if you recognize that, then you know that what we shouldn't be trying to find the truth, because, and I guess Hindus know this, that Maya is the world we see. Well, what we should be focusing on from a therapeutic perspective is, how can I transform the reality that I see? And the respiratory diseases, the cancer drug, these are examples. We have a number of them. And they've come out of this very novel platform we've developed.
That's actually fantastic news. Imagine this.
I believe if we can, either we will succeed, or 100 years from now, an archaeologist will discover what we had and say, okay, I'm not going to let that happen if I
hope
can.
That doesn't happen.
Exactly. I hope not. I and my colleagues will do everything we can to make that alternate universe not be the one we live in.
What do you think is the future trend of your industry, sir?
Well, if you want to say the pharmaceutical industry, I have a very low opinion of the pharmaceutical industry. Because it has been set up for profit of corporations rather than the benefit of patients. And the way it has practiced, in fact, documentably practiced, in fact, is not to seek innovations that transform things, but simply find a drug that is marginally better than the existing drug, because you get now a new patent life, you can make more money. So I hold the industry I'm in contempt.
Oh.
But that's why I want to change it.
What general skills do you look for in a potential employee, sir, other than, a science background or something like that?
I don't even think a science background is critical, because one of the nice things about biology is you don't need to be really expert in math. I mean, you need to know how to do, simple calculations. And by the way, if you don't know them, you could learn them in about, a week, right? I mean, it's not difficult, right? What I look for is curiosity, is interest, is discipline. That is the ability to, stick with a task, not get distracted. So, someone I'm in, who's doing an internship, who's easily distracted, so starts wandering around, not paying attention, not taking good notes. These are signs of someone who hasn't developed their ability to assimilate information, which is unfortunate. And, again, for the purpose of the internship, I will do everything I can to help them remedy that, but they're not someone who would be a good fit for what I am really looking for. Oh. Now, they can prove me wrong over the course of an internship. I still remember when I showed up in my advisor's lab, which was under not pleasant circumstances of having been rejected from an MD PhD program, but I was in medical school. What am I going to do? I said, I just want to come and work in your lab just because science is what I love. And he said, you're not going to have any time. You're in medical school. I said, just give me a chance. And he said, okay, I'll give you a chance. And that changed the trajectory of my life. Yes. Exactly. I worked day and night. I still remember at 2 a.m, I was working in the lab and I heard somebody coming in the door. I said, who is coming in at 2 a.m? I'm the only person here. And it was my advisor in a tuxedo. He was coming back from the opera or something, but he had to take down his sucrose gradients, the experiment that he was doing. And that, again, it's influenced me. It's like, even fine, he's, senior and advanced and, going out to the opera, but he's got his experiment running and he will come in at 2 a.m. to finish it.
Priorities.
Yes, exactly. So that was very influential. And so I look in a new trainee or someone I'm interviewing for that spark of, they're disciplined, they're curious, they're interested, and they're prepared to work very, very hard.